What's happening on a Thursday night, halftime-ish of an NFL game? It is your boy Memphis, and if you're following along on Twitter, it's at DWZ Memphis. And joining me tonight, he's not in New York City. He's in the Big H, Houston, Texas. He is the dirtiest player in the game today. He is Dr. Kyle. Dr. Kyle, what's up, man?
Nothing. I like this. This is I think the people are in for a treat as we are. I mean, 2 nights in a row with each other. Does this get any better?
Well, I mean, you're in Houston. At least the weather was good in Indy today, man. It was about 60 and sunny at its peak. So I will take it. So what are we doing tonight? So what are Dr. Kyle and I going to do? This is going to be like a little 10-minute quick hitter. But
Yeah.
we did not stop last night. There was some debate. I made him back down off of his Pittsburgh Steelers. Why are they getting points take? But he would not back down. He would not back down when I questioned him. Why the LA Rams are getting 2.5 points at
Chargers.
home?
Chargers. Chargers.
Sorry. The Rams game's on TV. Why are the LA Chargers getting 2.5 points at home against the Atlanta Falcons? Who the fuck they beat? Who they got margin against? Nobody. So I'm gonna
Oops.
let you go first. I'm gonna let you take the floor. The floor is yours,
All right.
please.
Let me gather all of my devices that have all of my so
All,
much.
all of your data. You know, you're like shuffling papers and clipboards, and you're stalling is what you're doing. We knew we were doing this at like lunchtime.
Yeah. I had a busy day when I got here, I'll be honest. But anyway, so here we are, the Falcons. Memphis, throwing out there that they're due for a top eight. The Falcons are due for going to be a top eight or a top 10
They're
picking
not
team.
due. They are. If
Okay.
the if the NFL draft happened today, the Atlanta Falcons are drafting eighth overall
Okay,
today.
so the Falcons on paper, face value, are 4-8. But if we talk about the record-breaking historical losses that the Falcons had earlier in the season under a different coach in Dan Quinn, this team could actually be 7-5. I believe they were at least 97% favorites in the second half against the Cowboys in week two. We saw how that ended with that crazy onside kick. And then in week three, they were up three scores against the Bears, I believe late in the third, possibly early in the fourth. And then if we fast forward from there, rewinding from here to week seven against the Lions, Todd Gurley tripped over the 1 yard line and fell into the end zone. So this Falcons team is, you can't, they're not a
Hold on. Would good coaching have prevented Todd Gurley from falling over it?
good knees, good knees, good knees
Would,
would have.
would good
You
would good
can't
coaching have
decelerate.
kicked that 27-yard field goal and just been done with it?
Yes.
I'm just checking. I'm just making sure I'm on the same page. Keep going. I'm listening.
And
I'm learning.
anyway, so look, 2.5 points. If this game was 3 points, I'm probably not touching it. But 2.5 points, I will take. With the Falcons, we get the kicker of all kickers. We get Young Ho Koo. The man can do backflips. That's not why I'm picking this. No. So Memphis forced me because I was going down the narrative lane, and Memphis doesn't like that. He likes his numbers, which are really just narratives with the numbers instead of the letters. So I'll give him that one. But Memphis, he was driving home from work when I was about to start. What did that allow me to do? That allowed me to gather some data. Let's take a look at Matt Ryan's career against the AFC West. Wow, look at that. 11-3. He's better against the AFC West than any other division. I would have never known that if Memphis was on time. And then if we're looking at the afternoon games, I don't know if that's, to me, afternoon means the 4:30 start on the East Coast, but that's still a 1:30 start on the West Coast. If I'm, trying to make this match my narrative, Matt Ryan is 23-12 in afternoon games. Uh, if we're looking at game number of the year, so game numbers 1 through 4, basically we'll call it September, October, November, December, because it's mostly equal. First month, 29-23, a little north of 500. 5 through 8, October, about 500. November, about 500. December, 32-15, 67%. That's like really good, and that's a large data set. Like these
Do
are
you
not.
have a sample from within recent time? I mean, I can go back. I mean, Matt Ryan's been in the league what, 13 years?
Yeah, probably.
13 years. So you're digging up things where he actually was good, and so were the weapons around him. What has he done lately? Do you know what his record is on the road against the spread in the last 4 seasons? Because I actually went within the last presidential term
Let me hear it from you if that's what you got.
He is 9-13 straight up in his last 21 road games. Okay, do you know? And we'll just stick to 2020 because it's a very unique year. So you said 2.5 point spread, right? 2.5 point spread. The Vegas pros are giving a 1.5 for home field advantage. Now on a neutral field, do you really think that the Atlanta Falcons are 4 points better on a neutral than the LA Chargers?
I think they're somewhere between 3 and 4.
Okay, so but the number's 4 because you get a 1.5 for home and then 2.5. There's no coaching advantage. Raheem Morris is not a very good coach. If
He's better. Everybody's better than Anthony Lynn.
That's
if
not
Anthony
true.
Lynn didn't show up on Sunday, the Chargers would do better.
Zach Taylor is somebody. He's not better than Anthony Lynn.
The Chargers
Matt Patricia is somebody. He's not better than Anthony Lynn. The way that Doug Peterson's coaching the Philadelphia Eagles right now, I could make a case. So no, I don't think there is a coaching advantage. Who has the better quarterback? So that's what we always look at first, right? We look at the head coach first, then we look at quarterback. Who's got the best quarterback? Who's playing the best right now?
I mean, how recent are we going? Herbert didn't look too good last week. He didn't look too good 4 weeks ago against Miami.
I can't go back to I can't go back to 2007 because he was in junior high.
He was really good then.
We can only go back to this year. Justin Herbert's the better quarterback. Which team's healthier? The LA Chargers. Todd Gurley's hurt. Julio missed practice 2 days in a row. And where does the Atlanta Falcons, where do they struggle? They struggle against the pass. They've given up the second most passing yards in the league. They've given up, they're a much better run team. So we have a team that's really good at passing the football in the Chargers, getting points from a team who's not very good at defending the pass. A team that just got beat at home 43-6. Excuse me, they beat the Raiders at home. I had that one backwards.
I was wondering where you're going with that.
Yeah, I did. I had that one backwards. So they did beat a playoff team, but I looked at both teams. I look at both teams' records. Do you know who played the Saints closer? Common opponent?
Yes, I do.
It was the Chargers in the Dome.
Okay, so familiarity though. Don't we talk about how good the teams that will play the Ravens again this year will do better than the Ravens? Yeah, no, but so I'm taking a narrative that you've used in the past about you like teams going against the Ravens who have already seen them before, like the Chiefs did well again. Okay, so why do you not use that same narrative to talk about how the Saints can now play the Falcons better because they see them 2 times every year, whereas they only see the Chargers once every 4 years?
Okay, then why did Atlanta look worse in the second game against New Orleans than they did in the first game?
Did they? They played the game closer.
It was like they scored 16 points. This is like statistically.
They only scored 9 in the first one.
Oh, wow. Great. Neat.
Without Julio. They got Julio back. They played within 5. Sean Payton's the best coach in the league.
Man, this is weak. You know, I get a Chargers team that has played 7 of their 9 losses have been against teams that are arguably in the playoffs. They played Kansas City to within 3. They played Tampa Bay to within 7. They played the Raiders to within 5. They played Miami to within 8. They played New Orleans to within 3. And they lost by 10 to Buffalo, and then they got smoked by New England. This line's a complete overreaction to what we saw last week against New England. That's all that this is. This is an overreaction. The Atlanta Falcons this year, how are they coming off of a win, right? Well, they don't win, so I don't really know. How are they as a road favorite? Well, as a road favorite, I don't know because they've not been a road favorite this year.
I'll tell you right now.
As a road favorite, they've not been a road favorite this year.
No, they haven't been a road favorite.
But as a favorite overall, they're 1-4 against the spread. 1-4, is that good? I'm checking. I'm asking you. Is 1-4 against the spread as a road favorite good?
Are you? Why don't you talk about what the Chargers have been against the spread?
As which was as a home dog?
Yeah.
Hold on. I can pull that up. I would have thought you would have pulled that up because
I'm pulling them all up.
I'm pulling them up. You have nothing. You have nothing. I'm doing all the work. I'm carrying.
Chargers are 0-2 as a home underdog this year.
And where did you get this?
TeamRankings.com.
That's where I'm at. I have them as 1-1 as a home underdog per team rankings.
Oh, I had it straight up, not against the spread.
Yeah, well, that's what we're talking about because I get 2.5 points. That's a spread, right?
I'll give you a spread.
All right, there you go. Atlanta, 31st in yards per play, YPP. One of the biggest measurements in gambling, YPP. They give up 267 passing yards a game. And Matt Ryan is getting sacked nonstop. He's been one of the worst statistical quarterbacks in the last 4 weeks. And, that includes the 45-point monster against the Raiders, or 43-point monster, rather.
I mean, they put a 43 against the Raiders and 34 against the Broncos. The Broncos defense just shut down the Chiefs for the latter part of, 4 quarters there.
Well, anyway, we have a crossfire.
We got a Mexican standoff. We got a fabulous face-off.
We're going to call it a face-off. We're having a face-off. We are debating. So I am taking unless the numbers changed.
No, it's at 2.5. That's what we talked about last night.
Is that what it's still at my bookie?
I don't care what it is right now.
Well, I'm looking just in case to make sure I'm not giving up closing line value.
Oh, stop! There's no vig. There's no.
No, this is true.
It's still 2.5.
This is straight up. This is one of your likes. We're going to be doing this in the show going forward.
Yeah.
Currently, that line.
It's still 2.5.
Is it?
Yeah.
I am looking.
We wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't.
Yeah, this is true.
I wouldn't give you 3 or 3.5.
Well, of course not, because it's close as is,
Yeah.
and you're just hoping for a push. That's the best case scenario. That's the best.
No, it can't be a
scenario.
push at 2.5 though.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why you wouldn't take it at 3.
Exactly.
So I am more than happy to take the home team, the better team, the more talented team, at home against a bad Atlanta team. They're playing for nothing. They're playing for nothing.
I just wanted to bring up how interesting it is that the Chargers have 3 wins.
Mm-hmm.
What place are the Chargers in? Are they the 4th worst team in the league? Like, would they have the 4th pick?
The 5th.
5th. So the 3 wins they have this year are all against teams that are worse than them.
Or so you're saying that they
beat the Jets, the Jaguars, and the Bengals.
Okay,
I'm not necessarily using that as evidence, but I just find that super interesting. Like, what are the odds that the team that's that shitty is playing that many shittier teams?
This is true, but you brought up Denver. They played Kansas City to within 3 in Justin Herbert's very, very first game. The Falcons got gut stomped in the first game of the year by the Seahawks. They gave up a 14-point, was it 14 or 17-point fourth quarter lead against the Bears, who've now lost 5 games in a row.
Those were the Dan Quinn Falcons.
But they showed up and got skunked against the Packers. They had a good game. They lost to the Lions with your boy Raheem Morris. They beat the Panthers. They beat the Denver Broncos.
They beat the Vikings. They pasted the Vikings.
Then over the course
in a
of the
dome. There's another
smoked.
one. Matt Ryan in a dome. Los Angeles is a dome.
Great. Well, I know that I have the best of this, and
okay.
I am looking forward to seeing what happens on Sunday. But this is our first face-off. We've never been this opposed to anything, and we're going to see what happens. We'll determine a wager. We will amount. We've debated between somewhere in the $20 range. We're not Vegas pros. This is not what we do for a living. We don't bet hundreds of dollars at each other.
I'm not trying to cry over football this weekend.
But this is as Doyle Brunson, not shooting at Doyle Brunson. He's great too. As Amarillo Slim would say, anything worth arguing about is worth betting on. and we're arguing
I
about
like
who
that.
do we think's the better team, and I am going with the Chargers. So we just thought we'd jump on, have a little fun, have a little little one. Yeah, yeah. I'm not saying that I love my coach, but I don't think I'm giving up anything. I think I'm getting the better defense for sure. I know this to be true with Joey Bosa, Melvin Ingram, and the defense there, and I know the defense on the Atlanta side, the Civ. So I know that
That's funny because the Chargers gave up 28 points to the Jets.
this is true.
They've given up 28 points. Let's see, that's 7. That's 8 straight games. 9. Not the last 9 games, the Chargers have given up 28 points. I'll tell you what, I really like my big bet this week in the over in this game.
Well, sure. This is the weirdest over. That was one thing we did agree upon. The 49 points is like the most egregious over.
So low for what it could be.
But as you're looking, you do see that the Chargers, they played the Chiefs within 3, right? Pretty good team.
Oh, yeah.
Chiefs are a playoff team, right?
Yeah.
They played the Buccaneers in Tampa Bay better than the Green Bay Packers, right? Because
the Chiefs also aren't covering shit this year.
The Green Bay Packers got smoked in Tampa, right? Chargers went in there, only lost by 7. Took them toward the bitter end. They went to New Orleans on Monday Night Football, primetime game, lost by 3. They played the playoff Raiders, right? Raiders go in the playoffs. At least they're in the mix.
No, they're not.
They're in the mix. What are they? They're 7-5.
The Raiders are fakers.
They lost by 5. Miami Dolphins, right? Everybody loves Tua. Tua time, not Tool time. That's Tim the Tool Man Taylor, but Tua time, right? Lost by 8. That's a 1-score game. You know, played the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills just shellacked, if I remember correctly, beat the brakes off of the San Francisco 49ers. Only lost by 10 in Buffalo, and arguably that game was closer than that because they didn't score on the 1-yard line. And again, the only bad loss they really have is the most recent one, and this is a clear case of recency bias. So I rushed my case, Your Honor. We're going to see what happens, and I'm going to tag this on.
I'm going to rest my case on Sunday at like 7:30 p.m. Eastern time.
I will be the first to call you and tell you what my Venmo and Cash App is, so I can get paid. I can get paid.
I'm going to write you a check, and I'm going to
love it.
I'm going to make you wait for it.
You know, that's not really a punishment. That's not really a punishment because
I know.
I can deposit the check online. And you still have to figure out where to get a stamp in 2020.
I have stamps, unfortunately. I have to do shit by check.
So
I don't get it.
Anyway, we just thought we'd jump on here, bust each other's balls. I have got the Chargers plus 2.5. He's got Atlanta minus 2.5. But we both agree we like this one over the 49.
I love it over the 49.
Yeah, if Atlanta gets their shit together and stops being the worst offense in football over the last month. Yeah, we would agree to that. Can you reach out to Julio, rub some coconut butter on those tender hammies? We need him out there. Can we get some arthritic cream? What is that, like heat, icy hot? Can we rub some of that on Todd Gurley's knee?
Arnica gel?
Whatever you got, kid. But anyway, we just thought we'd have a little fun, have a little debate. We'll start doing more of this on the regular Fabulous Big Bet show. But on behalf of that man, he is the dirtiest player in the game today, live from Houston, Texas. His name is Dr. Kyle. You can find him on Twitter at DWZ_DrPT. I am Memphis, and you can follow along on Twitter at DWZMemphis. Thanks for hanging out with us for a few minutes. Have a great weekend of bets, and we'll talk to you soon. And remember, money won, twice as sweet as money earned. Talk to you later, guys. Thanks for tuning in.